Okay, welcome back everyone. So we already done the chapter 4 analysis part. We did the descriptive, demographic, correlation and regression, these uh, three type of analysis. And then now we're heading to the chapter 5. The chapter 5, its name is discussion and conclusion. In the chapter 5, you just same before the other chapters, you just write down the introduction where you describe that what will be the content of the chapter 5. So first you have to describe the discussion of major findings. Chapter 5 is start with the discussion of findings. That what you find into the chapter 4 you have to describe here into the chapter 5. So in the discussion, first discussion will be the hypothesis 1. So based on the hypothesis, you start your writing. Our first hypothesis was self-study has significant impact on academic performance. So this one you copy hypothesis from your chapter 2, then you bring chapter 5, then you describe that you find the regression less than 0.05. That means it's significant. If you don't find, then you say it's not significant. Then you write down some information. That information you can find some same article or same thesis from the others study who used the same variables. Then you see how they describe their result. Then that information you can bring or you can borrow and you can adapt into your thesis. So hypothesis 1 you have to describe first. You describe the result from the chapter 4. I found this one, this table, I found this number. Okay, that means the significant is less than 0.05. Then hypothesis 2 also, again you copy from your chapter 2 the hypothesis 2, then you paste, then you write down that from the table I found this insignificant or significant. From chapter 4, this number of table 4.5, this number of table I found this one. So that's how you describe the findings. Then the contribution. The contribution, you need to think the two contribution, like academic contribution and industry contribution. In academic, like the knowledge, how your study contribute to the knowledge, body of the knowledge. How your study contribute to the body of the knowledge, you have to say that by theory I using this theory, I extend this theory, I develop this theory. If you use any theories in the chapter 2, you must have to use chapter 2 some theories. So you tell that here that previously this researcher used this theory, but they didn't consider the Malaysian university, but I consider this Malaysian university. That is your new contribution. If previous researcher didn't do anything, but you do, that is your contribution. So you highlight this way. Then industry also, like if you work into the manufacturing industry, banking industry, then you say that this study help for the employees performance. This study will be assist for the policy makers, those who are policy maker. So I am giving you a tips that how you write the contribution. You think the stakeholders. Stakeholders means what? Stakeholders mean those are the people involved into your industry. Okay, like example Alfa University. Alfa University stakeholders who? The owner, he is a one stakeholder. The management or VC, he is a one stakeholder. Then the lecturer, they are the stakeholder. Then the employee, those are the staffs, they are the stakeholder. Then students, you also stakeholders. Then the media, those who promote the Alfa University, they are the stakeholders. Community, the surrounding, the student. If we lecturers not stay here, then the students cannot do business. So they are involved with that. So the students also, they are stakeholders, external stakeholders. They directly not impact, but indirectly they impact. So you have to think your study how it directly or indirectly impacts. Then government also is stakeholders, because Alpha University's profile, Alpha University contribution helpful for the education industry of Malaysia. So they also benefited by the Alpha University activities. So you have to write down this information, how your industry influence these people, those who are shareholder, those who are employee, okay, those who are government, maybe your company develop the local people life. Okay, so you have to find out the reason. You just tell them that these peoples are benefited by this study. This study's result will be helpful. So here you have to marketing. You have to do some marketing. You use some flowery words so that it looks that your study is more valuable. Then the limitations. Every study have some limitation. No study without the limitation. So what kind of limitation can we have? Their limitation can be method. Method limitation means you use the quantitative. At first, in the chapter 1, when I describe, I tell you that you have to decide that your study is quantitative, quality, or mix. So if your study is quantitative, then you didn't consider the qualitative and mixed method. So this is a limitation. You tell that my study is quantitative, but I didn't consider the qualitative and mixed method. So this is a number one limitation. Then maybe you take data from the Nigeria one village. So if you take the data from Nigeria, one village, okay, so that means you didn't cover the other village of the Nigeria, still left. So that is another limitation. Okay, so like that way you find out. So place or location, it can be a limitation. And then your number of response. Maybe you collect 50 people's response. You could able to take the 50 people response, but it's a very small number. So this is a limitation. If you put 200, 300, 400 students limited data, that makes study more valuable. So that you have to address, you have to tell, you have to acknowledge that these are my limitation. Due to my times, due to my resources, I couldn't go further, then I couldn't collect the data more. So these limitations you have to tell here. You have to go down and you have to give this limitations. You mentioned list limitation. Then recommendation means how your problem, your study can be improved. Okay, give some points. In the points you give some suggestion that if the government take initiative, that it can be helpful. If the university take the initiative, that can be helpful. If they give the salary more in a good way, that can be helpful. So what are the recommendation you can provide for the industry, for the you're solving the problem what you described into chapter 1? So you link up with your chapter 5 with the chapter 1, the objective. You have to think where you started and from where you just now come. So you have to link up with this objective and hypothesis. Then you write down the in the recommendation section point wise. You give the point 1 2 3 4 like this way. You give the point and then you write down one line. So 10 recommendation, 8 recommendation is okay, sufficient. Okay, then the conclusion at the end, you write down that now you have to write down your objective again. You chapter 1, you copy information. Objective comes several times in the chapter 3 also, one time come, chapter 2 also come, chapter 4, chapter 5. Every time you have to repeat this information that this is our objective. Okay, because the study drives, this study comes from the objective leads the study. So you have to tell that was our objective in this study. Then we did the analysis and then we found this result. So then you say the results here in the conclusion. Again, you give some numbers from the table 4. We find out significant, insignificant. This result you tell here. Then you give some conclusive remarks. Okay, that if the government take this study seriously, then this industry can be booming. This industry can be helpful. This industry can progress. Okay, so that's it. Then you just reference, and then the formatting. That one you follow the formatting, and your supervisor is also helpful for details. So I tried my best to cover all the chapter 5, chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 within these 2 hours. Okay, I know that that is not sufficient, but I tried my best. It's up to you, and then your supervisor is also available there. You can discuss to get the further information and in details information. Okay, so any questions?
No questions, sir. Thank you so much. Yeah.
No question. Yeah.
Sir, can I see? Can you? Yeah, this chapter 3, please. The chapter 3 contents. Can I? Yeah, I just want to take a quick photo. Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay. It's not mandatory to follow exactly these contents. You can discuss with the supervisor. If your supervisor suggests to write down another way, you can follow. Okay, but more or less the process is same. Maybe 1 or 2 they delete. Maybe 1 or 2 she can add. So you just follow your supervisor's direction guidelines. In research, there are a lot of ways to do the research. Everyone have different style to do the research. Okay, but university have some format. You just follow, and then whatever you have problem, you discuss. That supervisor, I am feeling this confusion. This one is given by, but that one is I want to delete. Then she will suggest that what you have to do. You just follow her suggestion. Nobody is wrong here. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much for your long time. I know it's a bit difficult to keep concentrate in long time. So, but it's important. And now you have the clear idea until the chapter 5. Now you know that the way, how you started and where you have to finish, how you're going to finish. Now, best of luck for your writing. Okay, we describe the every chapters, the variables, how the sample size population comes, and the Bayesian Morgan table will be helpful. Probability and non-probability, you have to choose. Then the chapter 4, we did the analysis, demographic, descriptive correlation regression, and then chapter 5, discussion of the result, contribution. You have to keep mind stakeholders, limitations, and recommendation. You give point wise, then conclusion related to the objective, result, and conclusive remark. Okay, so best of luck. If you know questions, thank you. Any attendance needed? Attendance, okay.
So since we have finished chapter 5 now, are we still having class for this thesis, or we should just go ahead and do the final project?
I think you can proceed. At first, you discuss with supervisor. I think it's sufficient since I completed. Dr. Naima completed chapter 1, 2, 3, and today I also completed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all chapters. So I think you are ready to go. If you face any specific problem, then you discuss with supervisor. Then, but for proceed to chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, 4, 5, you have to get the permission from a supervisor. Without her permission, you straight away you cannot go to the chapter 5. Okay, you follow her step by step. After finish one chapter, then you can go for another chapter. Might be she gave some suggestions, she gets some corrections, so you have to address these comments, correction, then you can go for the next chapter.
Okay, sir. So it now depends on our supervisor to
tell
us when to.
Yes, supervisors is everything. Supervisors is everything for your study, for your project.
All right, sir.
You follow your supervisor. So, and we are here to help you. I already given comments from my students. Some of the students not yet get. I given one by one because we have the lot of students actually. So it needs time. So you have to be patient. one by one I'm giving the comments. So I hope your supervisor also giving the comments. So you just follow, it will develop your study. You can learn something from the comments. We also learn. We also get some comments from our supervisor, from the reviewer. Lot of criticism we get. Okay, very rush criticism we get. Okay, but don't feel offended. This is the academic life. This is the process of learning from the criticism. Okay.
Thank you for the encouragement.
Okay.
Thank you so much. But
okay. They straight away they throw. Sometimes they straight away throw this paper. Okay, you write down bullshit like this way they said. But sometimes I saw some students they cry also. You see, very aged students they cry because of the supervisor's rudeness behavior. Okay, but it's for the learning. After the end of the graduation, then you can feel the value of this process. This is the process of the learning. The building the resiliency, you building the capability, the resiliency. If you every time we say, okay, you go, then you will not learn anything. We have to give some challenges, we have to give some barriers, then you have feel something to move. Otherwise, you don't find any reason to move. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So,
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Take care. Take care.
is the attendance done?
Attendance already done. Already done.
All right. Have a nice day, sir.
Have a nice day. Thank you so much. Take care.